Welcome to the Connected Spirit Podcast, a space where the mystical and the human experience merge, where we explore what it really means to walk a spirit-led path. I'm Courtney Dawson, an ethical medium and mentor, and for as long as I can remember, I have felt the presence of the spirit world. But my journey hasn't been simple. It's been one of self-discovery, healing from religious and emotional trauma, navigating fear, judgment, and the loneliness that comes with embracing something the world doesn't always understand. This podcast is here to take what was once considered woo and bring it into the real lived experience of being human. Because mediumship isn't just something we do, it's who we are. Here we dive into the conversations no one else is having, breaking down misconceptions, exploring the unseen, and normalizing the journey of deep connection. We'll talk about the beauty and the struggle of being a medium. We'll laugh, we'll reflect, we'll go deep. And most importantly, we'll remember who we are, why we're here, and how spirit moves through us all. So if you've ever felt something more, if you've ever questioned the unseen, or if you're simply ready to embrace the fullness of your spiritual path, you're in the right place. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Connected Spirit Podcast. Today is one of those really special episodes that I absolutely love hosting and doing because it's not just about sharing my experiences with my mediumship development journey, but it is about showcasing some of the incredible mediums that are inside of my space, inside of my Connected Spirit School, who are doing exceptional things and really highlighting the beauty of the work that they're doing with the spirit world. And today's episode, we have the pleasure of talking with Tosha Link. She's an incredible evidential psychic medium, and we're going to get into her story and what her work with the spirit world is like. So, Tosha, thanks so much for coming on the show and being here. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
So, Tasha, you've been in my circle for about 8, 9 months, and
Yeah.
you've come so far in that time. And I'm wondering if we can go back and kind of rewind the tape a little bit. Before you joined the circle, what was your spiritual journey like? Where were you at with your mediumship abilities?
Yep. So I'll just start from the beginning. I
Yeah.
was not really someone who had these skills so much. Like I wasn't one of those kids that seen spirit when I was young. I wasn't um, someone who had all of these experiences happen, but it was something that was like calling me. And uh, I was always seeking it. And that's kind of what it was. It was a calling that I just kind of followed. And so I've kind of always been into the occult, spiritual work, anything, and really got into it during college. There was a local medium who offered a variety of classes, angel cards, all kinds of things. And I really, it opened me up to that world. So fast forward a little bit, I had kids, and when you have kids, you don't necessarily, do everything that you want to do. So
Yeah.
I took that step back, and then my kids are old enough now that I'm like, I really want to experience it more. So I found another local um, medium who actually, funny enough, I had known 10 years prior, and she'd started her own business, and that's kind of how I knew her. And she was doing kind of dabbling classes is the best way I can explain it. So we did classes on numerology, classes on astrology, and one of them was mediumship. And so we had a single mediumship night, and I got an evidential piece that I don't know how else I could have gotten it. You know what? I'll just go ahead and say it. I got a toaster. And I told this person, I don't know why, but I'm getting a toaster. Like, I just don't understand this. And she said that that was her son's sign that it was him,
Oh my God.
because he told her that everything goes to heaven, even a toaster. That's what he said in life. So the toaster, and that's all I got, was his symbol that it was actually him, which blew my mind because I hadn't really done
Wow.
anything like this before.
Yeah.
So I knew that I could do it, and I wanted more experience than one night. So I started searching more, and I kind of followed the breadcrumbs to you. It was actually, I'm still thinking about how I found you. I still don't even know. I just um, wanted to do more with my mediumship and seeing you had this circle, and I started taking it. So prior to being in the circle, I had very little experience, I would say. I mean, not that I wasn't intuitive, but doing actual mediumship, I didn't do it that often.
So to me, that is shocking because you came into the circle. And I mean, I taught you the connected spirit method where you're learning how to connect with your own soul, become really aware of yourself, recognizing the energy field around you. And then we bring the spirit world in and developing that familiarity of their presence when they come close. And you just did it so, so quickly. I knew you took some classes because we've chatted about that. I didn't realize there wasn't technically like formal training. So to
None.
me, that is just so shocking. But yet, for listeners that are hearing this, that has got to be really comforting and validating because we think that we have to spend all of these years and this training to really develop these abilities. People call them a gift, and I mean you can. In my opinion, I think it's a gift for the people that are receiving the healing, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
But to have that awareness of, oh my God, I don't have to spend 5, 10, 20 years sitting in the power, sitting in a circle to be able to connect clearly and accurately. Like you just had it and you are so intuitive. And I mean, what an incredible piece of evidence, the toaster. Some people might go, that's not
I know.
significant. Holy shit, that is so
I know.
powerful. That is so
Yep.
powerful because like, doesn't that really prove like um the intelligence of the spirit? Like, there's no way you could have made that up.
No. And I thought I was crazy. I'm like, why do I keep getting
Yeah.
a toaster? She's like, this is why. And I didn't understand it, but I told her and she completely understood, which is,
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
Oh, it's so incredible. So you came into the circle, you've blended so well with the other ladies in the circle. And to see where you started, where there was a little bit of, I mean, the connection was there with you, absolutely. And it's just progressed so rapidly for you. Now, as your mentor, my view and perspective is going to be a lot different than yours. So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about like when you first got into the circle. What was your experience like? What were you surprised about? What were you kind of like, I'm not so sure about this?
Yep. So I would say the and just a warning to anybody out there: when you first get in there, Courtney throws you right in. You start doing it right away, and that was kind of scary for me. It was that first night. I'm like, wait, what? I have to read right now. We're not just doing a class, but jumping in right away and starting to get evidence right away. And even though I feel like as you progress, your connection gets a little better and you start to hone it a little more, you start to understand better. But even that first time, just getting these little bits, like figuring out it was a male or a female, and
Yeah.
maybe getting a relationship and maybe seeing a flash of their hair color. That was that was something that definitely gave me confidence because I was not confident in this. Like I said, I hadn't really done it that much before. I'd done intuitive things. Um, and I was really into card reading. So I've always done card reading, but the medium side, I didn't have the confidence. I really didn't feel like I had the know-how, and that's actually one of the reasons I joined the circle too, is because I feel like I need more guidance with this. I know it's
Hmm.
out there. Where can I get it? Because right now I'm just kind of floundering and picking up what I can and what I can't. So that was kind of the beginning, trying to figure out what my next steps were.
It's so common what you're saying though, Tasha, because I mean, I was in the same boat, but I mean, I've taught so many students over the years, and they're saying the exact same thing that you're saying. I'm interested. I think I can do this. And I'm searching kind of like it almost feels like a swamp. You're looking for a needle in a swamp. Where do I find the answers, and what are the answers? What am I looking for? It can be really difficult and discouraging at the same time because you're looking for something but not entirely clear on what that thing is at times too. And I mean, you look online, there's so many freebies, there's PDFs, there's
Mm-hmm.
meditations, there's courses, there's free classes, and it all gives you like little tidbits of stuff, little bits of
Yep.
knowledge, but how do you actually put that all together? That's honestly where the support comes in
Mm-hmm.
within the
Yep.
circle. What have you noticed about your mediumship since you've been in the circle? Because, like I've said, you went from a little bit nervous and maybe not as confident as what I saw the potential in you to now, I mean, you've worked 2 professional events.
Yep.
So, like, in 8 months, seriously? It's wild.
Mhm. And that's one thing that I am actually super grateful for finding the circle. Like I said, I don't even know how I found it. I was led here. That's how I got here. Um, I have thought about this a lot, and I feel like I gained years of experience within a couple of months, pretty much. Because if I were to do this by myself without not only your guidance, but the group that we have, the wonderful circle, who everybody's so supportive and we work together and we do, readings together and practice on each other and we're very open and vulnerable with each other. I I don't think I would have progressed as far as I have. At least not by myself. I found what I was searching for. I didn't even realize this is what I was searching for, to be honest. I found it though within the circle and being able to connect with greater confidence and just realizing how often I just need to surrender what I'm getting, just like that poster experience. You need to just go with what you get
Yeah.
because it won't make sense to you, but it'll make sense to them. Um, doing readings with everybody over and over again, doing even the public readings. That's another thing too, is just going with what you get and then if not understanding it,
Yes.
letting it sit for a little bit just to that the Amazon package of it opening and expanding
I
and more
know.
and more and more and then yeah. So um yeah, definitely confidence is something that I have gained in this and the connection too. Um I felt not that it was spotty, but I didn't I didn't put the time in to hone it. And that was what it is being in the circle is a commitment to both yourself and to the spirit world that you're going to step up and actually do this work. And when you
Yeah.
start doing that, they step forward more too. Both the spirits
Yes.
of everybody else and then your spirit guides and it helps you progress way quicker than I thought was possible, to be honest. If I would have told myself 8 months ago that this is where I would be, I would have jumped right in just like I did.
It's so interesting you say that too, because um, I think, even from my own experience, I mean, I think we're always developing mediums, so I never feel that I'm above anybody else. But I mean, I might have a couple more years on other people, but I'm always learning. And I remember in those early days where I was gung ho. I mean, I took every class, every workshop, I sat in circle for 7 years, I did a bunch of stuff. And people got mad because I developed so quickly. But yeah,
Why?
oh, it was really nasty. Some people were really judgmental. I mean, I had a lot of grief because of that, and the senior minister took me under her wing because I was developing so quickly. But if I were to look back, and this is not judgment, it's an observation, and it actually ties back to what you're saying. If you put in the time and the work, your development it grows exponentially.
Hmm. Yep.
So you're not only sitting in circle once a week, but you're also doing your practice if you're putting in the work. And like I always tell my students, and you hear me, your output is a direct result of your input.
Definitely. And that's something that I've seen too, because again, I wasn't really putting in the time and effort into this. I wanted it, like in the back of my mind, I wanted this connection. And I agree that it it always is more. Every time I do it, I learn something new or I realize that hey, maybe I didn't quite get it right because I wasn't quite, when two spirits come in, I wasn't quite distinguishing that it was two separate until another piece of evidence came in and then realized, hey, so growing and expanding and then using um, I find it so interesting how often they use your experiences to show you something because sometimes the experience that comes out from my head is nothing to do with I mean it is to an extent but they'll show me my experience in relation to what I need to share with the client or the recipient um, and the way it comes through if it came through for somebody else a different way, they might not understand it, but it's my experiences that they're using. Um, again, it's also fascinating to me.
That's so powerful too, and I love how you say that because some people will go, "Well, how do I know what information is coming from me from the spirit?" Well, you learn that using the connected spirit method, and your lived experiences are like these frames of reference that are plugged in your mental library, and spirit can pull on that. So, there's nothing wasted in our life, right? Like ever.
Yep.
Everything is used um for a greater purpose, and sometimes it happens to be giving a mediumship reading. What have you found about being in the circle with the other mediums? I mean, you're all different ages, backgrounds, careers, family life, lived experiences. How's that been like coming into a space where you're with complete strangers? You don't know who they are, you don't know what they're about, and then being with them in this space so far for 8 months. What's that been like for you?
Uh, Magical. I really liked it. Again, it was kind of it was a little scary at first because you kind of tossed us in the deep end, which is good because it basically allowed us to prove to ourselves that we could do it. It wasn't something that was so abstract and out there. It was something that we could do, and we did it the first time. But the group, everybody is so supportive, and everybody is so skilled. Like anybody can do this. That's the one
Yeah.
thing I've gained from this is anybody, no matter their background or their experience or anything, they can do this if they put in the time and the effort to really hone their mediumship abilities and create that connection with the spirit world.
Definitely. I love that you said that. I might steal that line from you. It is true, though. Everybody can develop mediumship to varying degrees. Absolutely. I often say, I could go take a piano class and learn how to play the piano. I just
Hmm.
might not be a concert pianist or a professional musician, but it doesn't mean that the quality of it isn't good and it's not worth spending the time in it. And I mean, mediumship is absolutely incredible. What has been your like biggest aha moment from something the spirit world has given you and you've shared in a mediumship reading while you've been in the circle? And also, I'm going to tag on to that. What has been something that you've been most surprised about yourself and your work with the spirit?
So aha is I'm gonna go with surrender because
Mm.
I've realized, and I feel like I feel like everybody does this. You put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect. You put so
Yes.
much pressure on yourself to give the message, and really, it's figuring out that it's really not about you. Yes, basically, you're becoming the vessel for this message. You need to clear yourself and allow it to come through. Um, oh, surrender. Yes. So when you surrender and you let spirit come through and you let them show you what they want to show you, because as you've said so many times in circle, they're infinitely smarter than we are. They know exactly what the
Totally.
person needs. They know
Yeah.
exactly who needs to come through, what needs to be said or shared, or what message is going to get
Yeah.
through to them. And over, that's what I found because sometimes I okay, so we'll read for the same person in group, and I'm a little hesitant because I'm like, oh, what if the same person comes through? Well, that's
Hmm.
happened. The same person comes through, but their message is different, or they present themselves a little differently, so that way I'll lean into it more, and then figure out, oh, hey, this is someone it's very interesting. It's like meeting an acquaintance again and kind of getting to know
Yeah.
them again. So um, definitely surrender. And then what was the second question?
What has been the most surprising thing that you found
Mm.
about yourself and your mediumship? And maybe even, whether it's your mediumship or how spirit's been working with you.
Um, it's funny you ask what's the most surprising, and it's something that I've kind of always known is that spirit is always around you, and they're always giving you signs, and
Yeah.
they're there for you. And every time that I get a message from someone else in the group, I'm always like, sometimes I'm like, I already knew that, but being human, I want that validation, that outside
Yeah.
validation. Um, so it's been kind of surprising to me in a sense to learn how much I can trust my intuition, how right it is, and also, that I'm not crazy. These things are actually happening because um, when I live in a smaller community and there's not really anybody around me who does this, and being in the circle has kind of shown that to me and helped me um, flourish more because I'm able
Yep.
to talk with like-minded people and continue to surprise myself. Sometimes again, I feel like I'm just pulling something out of thin air, but that's exactly what you need to do in a sense. You just need to keep pulling on that thread and it'll lead you to the message or whatever you need for who needs it.
Definitely. Also, too, we have the Voxer mentorship. And so we have the Voxer mentorship once a week. But the people in the mastery circle, you all have your own relationship outside of me teaching you.
Mhm.
And you're connecting and dropping messages, arranging practice sessions. Like there's these relationships that have formed over this time that you guys have been together. How has that actually supported you in your mediumship? Because there's support outside of the circle.
Yep. So it definitely helps in a sense that even when so no matter how long you've been doing this, you still get a little bit nervous sometimes because we put that
Yeah,
pressure on ourselves to be perfect. And we want to give them a message. And like you said, that contracts you. So having someone else who's in the exact same spot as you and is able to say, hey, wait, take a breath, recenter yourself because we've all been there. We've all,
oh yeah.
ungrounded and we're just, you know, spinning around, not actually getting anything because we're trying too hard. We're reaching instead of letting them come to us. So having the ability to have someone else who's going through the same experience as you and knows kind of what you're struggling with. And then also the tips and tricks. Like sometimes they'll share, hey, this is what works for me. And you're like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Um, I will also say with the Voxer, I love the questions that everybody else has because we're on similar but different wavelengths. And someone will ask
Totally.
a question and it'll trigger somebody else's question. And I'm pretty sure there's a discussion going on. And then you're thinking about things that you hadn't really thought about, but definitely help with mediumship overall and help with your connection and your spiritual practice.
Absolutely. I love how you say wavelength. I was actually thinking that when you said it at the same time. It's like, yes, we work mediumistically, but we're all so different. You're all
Mhm.
so different. And that's what's so beautiful about this is where there's really the celebration of our uniqueness and how the spirit world works with us and through us. And what's really beautiful about this circle is that I've yet to see any comparison where there's judgmental or um, I'm better than her. Like that doesn't happen in this space.
No.
At least from my perspective, as the mentee, the student, have you noticed that at all?
No, everybody is so supportive.
Yeah.
Everybody's so loving. And even on nights, because there are nights that you don't really get anything. Like you've had a bad
Hmm.
day or you're exhausted, or there was one time I had a dentist appointment that day and I just was not feeling it. My energy was
Yeah.
not feeling it. And I was not judged. Everybody was like, hey, it happened. Nobody was upset that they didn't get a reading. I feel like it's like a very loving container in which all of us are allowed to be ourselves and grow how we need to grow while everybody else is growing around us.
Absolutely. It's gorgeous. I love it. And it's really an honor to support, to lead you beautiful mediums because um there's something so soul fulfilling, Tasha, when I see mediums click, get rid of the doubt, step into their gifts, step into their wholeness of who they really are. And it's interesting when many people start working with their abilities, it heals so many wounds, whether that's self
Mhm.
doubt, fear, all of that kind of stuff, right? Helping people find their voice. And it's really, really empowering. And it's such a gift to be able to support all of you. What would you say to the medium that is considering joining the mastery circle? What would you say to them?
First, I would say you were probably led here for a reason, similar to me. There's a reason that you have an interest in mediumship. And whether you decide that you want to do it professionally or it's just something that you just want to have that experience, there's your soul is
Mhm.
calling you to do it. You wouldn't be here if you weren't that. I would also say that when you make a commitment to join a circle, to start developing yourself more, you will be amazed with the results. And I would say you, Courtney, are so good at picking the group together. And um, I know that it's probably your spirit team. You put out the call and they help bring it all together. But the group, the container in which we've all been able to be together, has allowed me to develop faster than I would have on my own. I know that I would not have developed as fast without your assistance and without the group of people that I had. So if anybody is considering it and they really want to do this, they really want to develop their mediumship or expand it or whatever they want to do with it, Circle is definitely the place, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who wants to join.
I love it. It really does change lives. And then the world has more incredible mediums that can go out there if they want, no pressure, if they want to do this professionally, or even just reading for family and friends. There's such a need right now for healing in the world. There really, really is. And mediumship can provide so much healing, so much validation, and it's such a therapeutic tool in the grief journey process. And so to have another beautiful medium like you out there being able to do this work is so, so amazing because we really need it. Tosha, thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your voice with my listeners. The Connected Spirit isn't just a podcast, it's a remembering of who we are, a remembering of our connection to spirit, and a remembering that we are never walking this path alone. Mediumship isn't just about speaking with spirits. It's about deepening the connection to our own spirit, to one another, and to the energy that moves through everything. So as you leave this space, ask yourself, what part of this conversation stirred something within you? What connection is spirit inviting you to strengthen? If this episode spoke to you, please share it, leave a review, and connect with me on Instagram at Medium Courtney Dawson, or visit my website at mediumcourtneydawson.com. Your presence in this community matters because connection isn't just about what we seek, it's what we are. Until next time, trust your spirit, trust the unseen world, and trust that you are always, always connected.